So I'm not positive. I kind of think that in this episode, What Little Girls Are Made Of, we may see the actor that plays Mr. Hume, which is the bodyguard slash servant of Luxana Troy.
I don't remember if he was in this one. I think I remember you mentioning it before, but I don't
Okay.
remember if he's in this one.
I think the actor that plays Mr. Hume, I know that he does play an android in TOS, and that this episode has androids. And yeah, I think he might be a diabolical type of android. I think he might I think that someone might get like straight up killed in this episode. They go down to visit a mad scientist who again is one of these guys that doesn't want Starfleet poking around, and I think a red shirt gets killed by Mr. Hume, and the rest of the episode they're going around like, boy, one of our men's is certainly been missing this whole time. I hope he wasn't killed by an android. As always, I could be thinking of many different things. Do you have any particular memories or know what we're getting into this time?
So the first thing I'm going to note is I've looked it up on Memory Alpha, and I'm just confirming his IMDb right now. So I can't say for sure if it is the right guy. But Carol Struckian, which is the gentleman who played Mr. Hom.
Mr. Hom, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, Homn. Mr. Hom.
Not Mr. Hume, Hume.
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Hom, all right.
It looks like he was not doing acting in the 60s. His first acting credit on IMDb is 1978.
Wow, I might be a total asshole, and it might be some other very tall guy.
You know what though? Like, so I'm looking at, like, I've looked him up again, as I mentioned on Memory Alpha, and they've got the date of birth, and the date of birth is young enough. Is old enough. He could have played at this age. He would have been like 18. So it is possible. It just is not who it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, wow, I really thought that Mr. Hom was in TOS. I guess we'll see.
I guess.
I wonder why. Wow, okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to find now that specific episode's cast to be able to look it up. Like the Miri cast, because I don't know who you're looking at now.
Well, this is not Miri. This is What Little Girls Are Made Of.
This is the wrong episode that I am looking up on the internet. You are correct.
Okay, the episode we're going to talk about today is called, is it episode 7? It's called What Little Girls Are Made Of. It is episode 7, yes. Broadcast order. Okay, so that's the one.
Sorry, I have gotten myself confused. Now I can't remember if this is it's either this one or Miri was the one that had the kids from, what's his
Miri
face?
is the kid. Roddenberry's
kids.
Yeah, they're in Miri. Yeah.
Okay. See, now I've gotten myself all confused. For some reason, I've got Miri as the show in my head.
Well, we were just talking about it, and it is the next one we're going to talk about with Saint, probably with a full Saint episode.
So, the cast for
What
Our
that's
Little
not
Girls
Mr.
Are Made Of it's very small. So it's either, are you talking about Ruck or are you talking about Rayburn as the android?
It's probably Ruck.
Ruck? Okay, that's Ted Cassidy.
In this episode, Shatner holds
Lurch. It's
Lurch.
That is the person you're thinking of.
It's Lurch.
It's TV, which actually, okay. Hold on. I think I figured out the connection that you've got in your head.
Mr. Hom is Lurch in the 90s.
In the 90s movies, yeah.
Oh, and also
Ted
on Twin
Cassidy
Peaks.
is Lurch in the old show.
Okay. This episode features Captain Kirk holding a prop of styrofoam that's supposed to be a stalactite, and it looks like a giant pink barnacled dildo.
And that is a description that you're not going to hear regularly.
Yeah, so keep your eyes open for that. That's
okay, that makes more sense, though.
Wow.
I figured that out. So, yeah. 1973 Addams Family TV show cartoon. He was the voice of Lurch in that. He was the voice of Lurch in the black and white TV show back in the day. As well, he was Balok's puppet, Ruck,
Whoa!
and Gorn.
And the Gorn.
Yeah.
Balok's puppet. Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, when, oh, yeah, because Balok obviously is not a cloud of gas, but he does the floating green head trick. And it's, yeah, okay.
Yeah. And so, yeah, you remembered that he was Lurch, but you remembered the wrong Lurch. And apparently they were both Lurch, which is why you've matched them together. That works. That makes a lot of sense. I don't remember Balok's puppet.
Yeah, that's the episode that I keep talking about, the Corbomite maneuver.
Yeah, we've got that. We're coming up to that. That'll be soon.
So the puppet is the floating green head illusion that, a lot of Star Trek.
Old fiancé on XO3, but the scientist's plans for Kirk and the Federation.
Yes, that's the one. What's going on in this episode?
In this episode, Nurse Chapel searches for her long-lost fiancé and uncovers his secret plan to create sophisticated androids for galactic conquest.
Okay.
That's what the internet said, at least.
Yeah.
I'm honestly, I can't remember this episode. I thought I'd seen everything on TOS. I do not remember this.
I think the plot is, it's roughly the Ruck kills someone for some reason, and then a lot of the episode is, I think, the doctor in charge trying to cover it up, or it's something. It's strange to me that they're not immediately aware of what happened to the guy. I think for a while they don't even know that he's actually dead.
I don't know. I'm looking forward to it because, again, I have no recollection. And the last couple times, I'm like, I have said similar. Watch the episode, and I've remembered parts of it. I just don't remember the episode from the description, as has come up a few times. Other things, right? I'm really bad at what the description and what episodes they are by title. But once I'm actually watching them, I'm usually okay, right? So I just figure it's going to be one of those.
Yeah, do you have
the data?
Yeah, the facts.
The facts. Directed by James Goldstone, written by Robert Bloch, which I think, and I might be saying his name wrong, but I think for both of those, this is their debut for the show. Original air date was October 20th of 1966, and IMDb gives it a 7.5 out of 10.
7.5 out of 10, okay.
Yeah. I don't know. Did we have a question for this one? Have we come up with one yet?
Oh. No. We have not. Maybe we'll come up with it while we're watching it.
Okay.
It could have a question. It could be a question involving androids. I mean, I hope we know who everyone's favorite android is, although now there's 15 different versions of them.
There's only two that really matter.
There are only two that really matter. I would maybe, yeah. B4 doesn't matter.
I've always been a lore girl, so.
Okay. It could be a data related question. That would be fine.
No, let's watch the episode.
Let's see. Why don't we watch the episode, period, and see what we think of it. Yeah.
All right, let's go for it.
Awesome. Hello, and welcome once again to The Least Ready Room, a podcast on the internet where Dave and Chris, I'm Dave, are going to watch every episode and piece of Star Trek media and then talk about it, usually with Saint and Weebs. We'll see who ends up being involved in other series beyond TOS, and also people on my Discord who answer the question of the week and get their comments read at the end of the show. If you would like to talk to us or be involved or answer the question of the week on my Discord, which is called EasyTown, you can get a link to my Discord from my website, koyadk.tv. That's CUYADK.tv. And also I have a website that is lakehousesoaps.com, and you can buy soap from me, so please do. I love to sell it. Other than that, as we discussed, we are talking about What Little Girls Are Made Of, which I think is the first android. I think these are the first Star Trek androids. I'm pretty sure. I don't think we've seen any androids yet. We've already been doing this long enough, like 7 episodes or something, that I'm not sure what we've seen so far. I think these are the first androids that we've seen. And we're going to talk about androids a little bit. And first, the question of the week is like, what is your favorite android? I'll read out exactly what it is at the end when I read them. So first, let's talk to Saint and Weebs. And Chris actually showed up to talk to us while we were doing the sort of guest segment here. Gang's all here. Let's talk about androids. And after that segment, of course, me and Chris will break it down more in depth and a little less tired Saturday night. And then we'll do the question of the week. And then I'll say goodbye. And then next week we'll do another episode, which I think will be Miri. So let's go. I'm recording. I did some shoveling. And maybe I should not have done... Maybe I shouldn't do something like shoveling. I have no idea how many pounds of compost. Like 1 time a year.
Yeah.
Because, I'm not ready for it, obviously. Maybe I should consider things like stretching before I do something like that.
It helps to stretch a little bit.
Yeah, so my arms feel very floppy and sore. And so does my neck and back and, everything.
Yeah. Yes.
But it always does, because I'm fucking old.
Ugh.
So do you remember What Little Girls Are Made Of?
Very vaguely. I don't remember this being one that I watched very often.
It's got Lurch. You know Lurch?
Lurch from
The Addams Family.
Family?
Yes.
Yeah.
So the actor from the black and white Addams Family is in this episode.
Nice.
And what's kind of fun is that in The Addams Family from the 90s with Christina Ricci and M. Bison... Was it Angelica Houston?
She was in the remake. I don't remember who was in the original.
Yeah, the remake. So now I'm talking about the 90s one, the remake. In the remakes, Lurch was played by the guy who plays Mr. Hom, Lwaxana Troy's manservant.
Oh, yeah.
So there's the Lurch connection.
The Lurch Nexon.
Yeah. This is definitely one that I had, like, at some point, I guess, I would say over the past 5 years, I definitely dabbled in some TOS. And also before that, but, like, some of them we've watched, I kind of feel like I definitely watched maybe in between 2015 and 2020. Not that that's really relevant, but I have a memory of seeing this one kind of recently. As far as Paramount Plus is concerned, this is what I've watched up through about half of Dagger of the Mind. But I did remember it, and there's some interesting things that happen. This is one where a red shirt gets killed. Yeah, the biggest weird thing is about this one is it's one where a red shirt gets killed immediately. That's not weird, but it is everyone, and I guess when I talked about it with Chris, we kind of came to the conclusion that maybe that was the point, and maybe I shouldn't tell you about everything that happens, but everyone is very oddly blasé about a death that occurs, and then more deaths occur, and it's kind of weird, but I think it comes together, and I like it, and maybe now I've told you a lot about it, but you want to watch it?
Yeah, of course.
All right, great. Here we go.
That's what I'm here for.
Awesome. relocated. I'm pretty sure I saved everyone's ass. Meanwhile, everyone's fucking dead.
He ended up solving that problem with the power of love, of teaching Andrea how to love.
Which made Ruck mad.
Yeah.
Which
made her shoot the Kirk android.
I'm not sure if he planned out everything that happened.
Yeah, I don't think so either. He was just like, if I just mess with these guys, they'll figure it out. But I'll cause some chaos and then take advantage of the chaos, which is a fair plan.
That is exactly what the plan was. It really did well.
Sometimes you don't have much to work with, and your plan is, let's make some crazy shit happen, and hopefully it'll all fall out where I can take advantage of it.
Let's remind Ruck that he should be allowed to ignore his programming because one time his people rose up and destroyed the ancient craters.
Yeah. Ruck, did you forget that you hate all organics? Oh, right!
Yeah!
Right, that reminds me. I should be killing these guys. It's been a really long time, Kirk. Thanks for reminding me. We're supposed to be killing all organics.
A lot of very silly things happen in this one.
Yeah.
I like how it comes together. I think, I think he does a good job. Everyone vaporizes each other. It's a real kind of weird standoff, and obviously.
Were there any lessons learned about the?
Yeah, don't put your mind in an android. Say
the human spirit or the nature of man, or.
I think so. Yeah, if you put your mind in a robot, it's not you, and it won't be able to think. And Kirk will be able to trick it into making out with people and vaporizing each other. What do you think? Did you learn a lesson about putting your mind in a machine from?
I'm still not sure. I shouldn't upload my brain into a computer if I'm given the chance.
I'm gonna do it.
Yeah. All right. That's good. Okay.
I mean, you live forever, right? So why not?
Until someone trips on the power cord. Okay.
This is not the worst. This is not the worst scenario I've seen from mind uploading. The worst scenario I've seen from mind uploading is then when your mind is actually the property of a corporation.
Oh right, and what? They make you watch commercials all day, or
just whatever they want to do. It might be commercials all day, but I don't know.
You might be the commercial. You might be in a human zoo.
Yeah, you remember Cyberpunk 2077, right?
Yes.
Mikoshi, the place where they keep where Arasaka keeps the minds of everyone who signs up for the quote unquote immortality.
Is it on a satellite?
It's in the.
Is it in the tower?
Oh no, it is in the satellite.
Someone goes to space in the end of that game, as I recall. I don't know. I don't really remember. That's a very good video game.
Mikoshi is in space, but they break into the tower at the end of the game.
Yeah.
To access the uplink to the satellite.
Okay.
Going to space at the end of the game has nothing to do with Mikoshi.
Oh.
There's a sort of epilogue that implies that you're going to space to rob the biggest casino in the world, which is in space.
Oh.
In order to finance saving your life. Maybe. It's like I think the epilogue, if that's the good ending, the epilogue is there's a guy there who is like, I can get the treatment you need to save. I can get the treatment to save your life, but you got to rob this, super
space casino.
Super space casino.
Is it
impossible heist? I think there's a 50-50 chance that this dude is just fucking you over, just like the last time. That's the Cyberpunk trope, man. I don't know. Did you ever play Shadowrun?
Back in the day? Not on paper, no.
They there's a trope about the people who hire you for a job always betraying the runners.
Right. Yeah, of course. Yeah, because that's what runners are for.
Yeah.
You got to get rid of them. They know your dirty corporate espionage secrets.
Now that they've done your dirty corporate work, you have to shoot in the back of the head and drop them in the river.
Yeah, so these are clearly pre-data androids. These androids aren't quite... These guys don't have positronic brains, I don't think.
There's something on with them. Their ruckus lasted like 500,000 years or something. They said that the sun's been dimming for 500,000 years.
Yeah.
That's a long fucking time. 500,000 years is a long time.
And then then you find a dude half dead, frozen in ice. You put him in an android because you've forgotten that you want to kill all the organics. And then he goes and reprograms you and starts using you to do his bidding and throw men in a bottomless pit.
Yeah. And put together a plan for galactic domination involving
a body snatching scheme.
Body snatching android takeover from inside. Wow. Can I just meditate on that? That's some super villain shit.
That's really, I mean, that's Borg, not even Borg shit.
And he's
like
going like, Christine, it's still me, and she's like, no, it's not the hand thing.
it's the body snatching.
It's the body snatching galactic domination thing that I have a problem with.
I don't think the old you would have tried to replace a population of a planet with androids. You never did that before you became an android.
Yep.
So something's up.
Yet again, someone who's mad with power.
Yeah, right.
I can put people in this naked spinny centrifuge, and a new version will be spat out.
Yeah, what did you think of the props for the android machine, the centrifuge, and all the knobs and dials that two people have to work?
Oh well, the knobs and dials are par for the course, man. For Star Trek.
I mean, these were some good ones. There were lots of them.
These were some good ones. We will see thousands of more dials and thousands of more knobs
and big levers.
Some levers, yeah
for sure.
Some big old vacuum tube style fucking conduits. Yeah. No, but the naked centrifuge was just something else. Do they have a girl version that covers up the top half too?
Yeah, I wonder. I want to know if Andrea was ever a real girl or if she's just a blank. They just make it look like a girl, and we'll program it to just do whatever I say.
Was Andrea just flopping around on the
centrifuge? Yeah, I mean that. Wow, I wasn't even really thinking of the effect of it while it was in motion. Yeah, is Kirk's penis secured under there? Now, and that's I'm asking that from a story perspective and also from a production perspective.
Yeah.
Was he flapping around in the centrifugal force?
Just whacking his dick around the inside. That's why he looks so uncomfortable. It wasn't even the spinning.
It must have been. I mean, they must have spun him pretty good.
I have a feeling. I was thinking, I'm like, do you think they spun him kind of slow and then just sped up the film? It up.
That's for sure. Yeah.
That seems more likely.
And they probably gave him a pretty good spin. I bet there were enough prop masters on the show that were sick of Shatner.
Yeah.
He's strapped in there. Let's go spin it real fast.
Yeah. Okay. See if we can make Shatner puke.
Yeah, it seemed like it was likely. I mean, the scene was very intense. It showed him spinning for a very long time, very rapidly.
It's like flashing lights and shit. It's like designed to induce vomiting and seizures.
Like a carnival ride.
Oops, sorry, Bill.
Yeah. Exactly like a carnival ride. Just not sure why he needed to be naked.
Yeah, because otherwise the android grows clothes and they're attached to its skin and it's weird.
weird. They can never change.
Yeah.
What if we disguise you as something else?
I think Rook's whole costume is his skin. It's his outer surface. His android body is just that weird overcoat carpet with floral pattern dress underneath.
Yeah. I love how Kirk's whole plan was like that he's gonna take a snapshot of my mind.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna concentrate on being really racist, and Spock will know it's not me.
Yeah, I'm gonna concentrate on some Vulcan slurs and.
And if it happens again, Mr. Spock, I'll think of a more sophisticated slur while they have me strapped down in the spinny android machine.
That's pretty neat. Yeah, that like it was pretty quick thinking. If I'm thinking about this one thing, maybe the android copy will say it.
Yeah.
That's kind of a neat little detail. That's a neat little twist in this story.
Yeah.
There's some cool stuff going on here. I think there's a lot of cool stuff going on actually in this one.
Ultimately, it didn't matter because the androids
they all killed each other.
Because Kirk convinced all the androids to murder each other.
But at least his ride was there. At least he didn't have to sit around inhaling the.
Look for a communicator. Look for a communicator or something. You just have Spock roll up just like 30 seconds later.
We got a body count of at least 5 or 6 in this one. 4 androids and 2 men.
Yes.
This is a high body count.
If Rook dying also.
Yeah, it's questionable if that counts.
No. Not only does it, I think not only does it count, but do you have to also take into account that he was probably the last of his kind, the death of a civilization, the last remnant of a civilization.
I think I speculated, like, are there other caves with one living dude that just is gonna live forever, just is eternally powered, like all over the planet? Yeah, it makes more sense.
Until a big asteroid hits the planet at some point in another 500 million years or something.
We would have heard about him again if there were more of them, but I feel like there's a lot of stuff in TOS that, we would have heard about again.
I mean, it seems pretty unlikely for anything to be working after 500,000 years. And the fact that he found Rook and an android cloner.
And an android device,
if they were like, this is the only one left on the planet, I would be like, yeah, okay. That makes sense.
An android carnival centrifuge.
I wonder what Dr. Noonien Singh would think of.
Of Corby? Yeah, I would love to know.
Dr. Is that his name?
Corby.
No.
Corby?
No, the doctor.
Yeah, Noonien Soong. Yeah.
Soong. Why was I saying Singh?
Khan and Noonien Singh.
Oh.
And whatever Noonien Soong was. Does he have a first name?
No, I think his first name was Noonien.
Oh, okay. So there's a bunch. Yeah, there's a bunch of Soongs, and there is some relation. There is the Singh and the Soong. There is some relation between Data's inventor and Khan.
Is there?
Yeah, there was. Well, there was before, and
is there in like Picard or something? Is when they
go
back
there
in
was
time
there was like in TNG. I don't know if it's in like. I don't know if it's something someone says in an episode or if it's just like in the lore, but there was some connection between the two characters and the name Noonien. Like he's named Noonien for some reason that has something to do with Khan. But in Picard, I may have told you there's a character I refer to as Elon Soong, which is like the 2022 billionaire tech bro.
Yeah.
Quick point of order regarding Soongs.
Yeah.
And the two Nooniens. Dr. Noonien Soong is in fact linked to Dr. Khan. Dr. Soong's great-grandfather, Eric Soong, spelled A-R-I-K, created the Augments, a second attempt at a kind of super beings led by Khan, and played a vital role in the eugenics wars. Khan's name is a bastardization of Soong's name, but Khan is, in a weird kind of way, Noonien Soong's great-great-uncle.
Hey!
There we go.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
So in the end of Picard season 2, Elon Soong pulls out a folder that says Project Khan or something on it.
Okay. Well, I mean, Khan Noonien Singh. I'm not sure what Noonien mean, but Khan is like a ruler, and Singh also means king.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Or lion, depending on the language it's being derived from.
Well, lions are the kings of the jungle, even though I don't think they're really in the jungle.
Yeah, but whatever. The kings of the beasts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a very on the nose name.
They're the kings of the savannah.
Oh.
What do you guys think out of 10 for this one?
I'm feeling 6.
Yeah, like a 6.
Okay.
I must have seen this one in ages past. I didn't remember it.
I remembered this one, I think.
I fully predicted the twist of this dude was also being an android.
Yeah.
As soon as he said, like, I can spin it further and then you'll be in the body all the way, I was like, oh, this dude's an android too. And also all this talk about needing to, like, use a bunch of androids to enforce order and perfect society and stuff. I was like, this motherfucker
I gave this a 9.
Yeah.
And then
I
like androids.
He gave it a 9. I gave it an 8. Both of us really liked this episode.
I do like that Kirk solves it by basically tricking all the androids, but
I like a lot of the things the androids say. I really like Ruck realizing that's the final equation. Fuck organics, let's kill.
Let's kill them all.
Yeah.
And Andrea, walking out, accidentally shooting the wrong Captain Kirk, and then coming back in, she's like, I'm not programmed for this security shit. I just shot the wrong guy.
You told me to handle it, so I just vaporized a guy out there. And the guy giving her orders is also an android who's shutting down. Yeah, I think it's great. I think the androids. I think the message of, if you start putting people's brains into robot bodies, they're going to act like idiots and vaporize each other. That resonates with me. I'm very, the whole Valerian thing.
I guess I was kind of looking for a new theme.
Yeah.
But that's probably a tall order for a 60
66
year old TV show.
Oh, is it going to be 60 soon? Is that where we're at? Yeah.
Yes.
26. It will be 60 years.
It's 58 years old now. Yeah, there's a lot of similar themes, and I mean, there's a lot of episodes.
There's a lot of episodes where we watched an episode a couple weeks ago where there was a cloned or another Captain Kirk going around making trouble. That's a pretty Yeah. We're not breaking a lot of ground here.
There's so many mysterious dudes in caves with ancient civilizations.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Mysterious
dudes with ancient civilizations, cranky doctors, people that want to explain their secret project that they run into that shit all the time.
Yeah, all the time.
All the time. So this is not a lot of new ground, but I love robots being confused, having emotions, saying weird things. I love all that shit. I love people uploading their brains.
I did like at the end how Andrea is basically I was not programmed to love, but I have evolved to fall in love with this other robot who doesn't love me, so I'm just gonna vaporize us both.
Kiss me. No. Fuck off, Andrea. Okay. Zap.
What? Yeah. Wow. Okay.
A lot of vaporizing of humanoid creatures that aren't quite people, I guess.
I guess maybe they around this episode they were guys, we perfected the vaporization.
Yeah. But we can't just vaporize a bunch of people. It'll be sad.
Yeah, so let's get some androids all up in here so that we can vaporize.
Story's gonna be about androids.
Somebody write an episode about androids that we can shoot.
Yeah, that all shoot each other.
Yeah, that's right. Kirk doesn't lift a finger.
No, he really doesn't. Yeah.
I mean, he after Rook is vaporized, he fights Dr. Corby's android for like a hot second.
Does he mash his hand and
that's where he mashes his hand. Okay. Yeah. But that doesn't even change anything. It just shows off that he's the android to Christine, and then Christine is like, yeah, no, it's not the fact that you're an android that I'm rejecting you, it's the fact that you want to take over the galaxy. I find that problematic. It's more problematic than the android thing.
Christine Chapel has got her head on right.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks guys for being here and watching Star Trek and talking about it. Yeah, so that's what little girls are made of. Green foam.
Green foam.
Green foam.
Yeah.
That turns into skin, but also circuits.
Yes. Yeah, a bunch of components from the Radio Shack stuffed into your body cavity.
Some latex.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wonder if they have like Terminator skeletons.
Yeah. Or some equivalent. They must have some type of structure if they're just stuffed with components, yeah.
Let's make an android and then set one on fire to see if it turns into a Terminator.
I mean, I thought yeah, that's science right there. I always thought it was funny when they opened up Data and he just had a bunch of LED lights in there, like everywhere. Yeah. Wherever you looked inside of him, it was green circuit boards and a whole bunch of LED lights.
It's just lights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have much to do with what actually happens, other than offending Spock.
A lot of stuff does that. They actually, one of the few things that I actually like from Big Bang Theory was there's a scene where they're talking, the guys all go see Indiana Jones with the girls, or at least some of the girls, and one of the girls points out to them that like Indiana Jones literally has no impact on the movie whatsoever.
Right, all those things would have happened whether he was there or not.
Exactly, and it feels like that with this too.
He's just like there to grab the thing at the end.
Yeah, just go with it, and it would happen, and it'd be fine.
It really, that movie in particular is really him following the action. Everything that happens, it's him a step behind, going to figure out where he has to go to next to catch up with this artifact.
Well, and like at some points, it looks like it's them following him, but like the one impact he has is he leads them in the wrong direction. They're like, oh, this was wrong. Let's go back to where we were. Like without him, they just would have found it a little bit sooner.
Right? Yeah.
And it's not even like that much sooner. It's like 2 days sooner, kind of thing. You know, like. So and no, there's a lot of television and movies that are done that way.
I have a feeling that this could have been the first Nurse Chapel episode, because I don't know what the production order was, but it does seem like she's here because they're transporting her somewhere, and in the end she decides, hey, I'm going to stay with the ship. And this could have been her introduction. We get a little bit of a backstory to her. She was engaged to this weird scientist that is now missing, doing strange experiments. You know, I'll tell you what, I like this one better than the last couple.
This star date is later than everything we've seen so far.
All right, so never mind. Okay.
There's a few more episodes in this season as I'm quickly scrolling through. Excuse me, that has like a star date before this, but not much. It's like I think 2.
Okay.
So yeah, there's 2 more episodes. Oh no, there's a couple in the. So it's star date is 2000, 2,700 and change. So there's a couple of 2000s episodes that are below it, and there's a couple of 1000s that we haven't seen yet for star date. if that's clear.
Yeah, no. So this is towards the end of the chronology of the first season.
It's about midway through, actually.
But probably not the first time we see Nurse Chapel, because we've already seen her in the release order.
Definitely in the release order, we've seen her. Probably not going to be the first, like, even the second time in, like, you know, actual, like, chronological order. But yeah, no, it's still an early view of her, right, in general.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. So they're going to look for her ex-fiance. We don't really get a full story or if it's really that she's interested in finding him, although I mean there is some like thank you for bringing Christine to me, and kind of it does seem like she's been not knowing exactly where he is or what he's up to. Corby really wants nobody. At first he says, Kirk, come down here and see me by yourself, because, you know, as it turns out, he wants to replace the captain and take over the ship, which everyone does. This is another Two Kirks episode, but we'll get there. And yeah, Kirk says, well, I'll tell you what, I got Nurse Christine Chapel here, and Christine, played by the lovely Michelle Barrett, is like, yo, Corby, what's up? I'm here. And Corby says, well, both of you definitely come down. However, Kirk comes down with two other men who are immediately murdered. One is thrown into a bottomless pit. The guy has a bottomless pit on the way into his lab.
Yeah, no, the bottomless pit was a bit of a point, because, like, we even joked about it at the time, where it's like, you can build an android, but you can't build a fucking railing. Yeah,
Kirk and Christine almost fall down it when they, on their way in. It's very dangerous.
I mean, I'm really bothered by it too, because like I'd forgotten how many androids and robots this guy had working for him. So like, I get it. You are a scientist who doesn't know how to do basic carpentry. Cool. Like not being able to build a basic thing because you're not sure of it, or even maybe you understand the theoreticals, but like you've never done it and you're nervous about doing something like that, or like you don't want to hurt yourself because you're a soft, squishy, pathetic human. Fully get why you yourself do not want to build this railing yourself. But you've got, like, they made it clear it was what, three androids that he's got running around? Make the fucking robots build a goddamn railing. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, well, I mean, it turns out that maybe no one down there really knew what was going on or was in control, which I really like. I really like how this one turned out. I think it's the ending is just, it's ultimately a really weird, sad little story. One of the last lines is Dr. Corby was never there, was never here maybe before he even leaves.
Yeah.
And I don't want to, we'll get there.
It's a very touching episode. And the implication, so I'm thinking ex-fiance might have been the wrong term, because like I've reread the little blurb, it's lost fiance. So the idea that Chapel has been, I'm the one who said it was ex during the show. That was my mistake.
Sure.
So no, but the idea that Chapel has been in love with this man, they said it in the episode where he disappeared years ago, because of ridicule and his goals, right? Remember, I think, or something to that effect. So there's something to that effect being said in the episode where he was basically, from what I understood it as, he got like chased out of the local scientific community, which is why he's on this isolated planet in the middle of nowhere now.
For mad sciencery.
Yeah, he went missing, and then he even did the mad sciencery with like Kirk, where he's like, "You can't leave because if you leave, you'll shut me down." And Kirk's like, "Yes, shut me down."
Yes, that's what's happening. Yeah, but it's very now I like it because there's a lot of like, at first, there's a lot of stuff that makes sense when you realize what's going on. Because at first, the way that everyone is so casual about like, oh no, that guy's definitely dead. Let's not hang out on the stairs. Which, first of all, yeah, let's not hang out on the stairs. But the way that everyone is just like, he's like, they even mentioned to Corby, Kirk lost a man on the way in here, and Corby's like, oh, I'm very sorry. Like, everyone's just like, oh, well, some guy's dead, and then Kirk radios the other guy that was told to stay at the entrance, Rook, who we haven't seen, or Kirk has not met Rook yet, but Rook is the big ancient android who kills the other guy as well. He killed the first guy. And, Kirk can't get in touch with the guy, and everyone, Corby and his friends are like, oh, well, I'm sure he's fine. Your other friend's definitely dead, but let's not worry about it. And it almost makes sense when you find out that, we're always spoiling stuff. We're going to get there, but, everyone is an android. Corby was never here.
Well, he probably was.
No, he was. He was.
He had to have been. Otherwise, how would the android be him, right?
Yeah, no, he says that, like, he crashed and had lost his legs and was, like, going to die. And, like, I guess Rook would have put him in the android making machine. Yeah. His big flan, what, like the Mexican dessert?
Yeah.
So he's got a huge flan. He wants to make copies. So basically, the android... Rook is an ancient android. The other three, who are Dr. Corby, his assistant Brown, who... I believe that Kirk is trying to stun Brown because, when Kirk is like, okay, my men are getting killed, I got to get out of here and figure out what's going on. Brown is the first one to say, you can't leave, points a phaser at Kirk, and Kirk is like, I'm going to grab the girl and take her hostage and then roll behind the table and do a stage roll and shoot you. I think he's got the phaser on stun, but it blows Brown's guts open, which are robot parts. So, and
when we first actually learned that they're actually robots themselves, not like we didn't know at that point that this was a robot. We thought it was a human. So.
Yeah, we didn't. Did we not even? We didn't even know Andrea was a robot at this point. Yeah, that's how we learn what's going on.
Andrea and
did Rock, I say Andrea?
You did, yeah. Andrea, Rock, Brown, and Corby. We don't find out any of them are what they are until a fair amount in. Brown we found out, and that's when Kirk's like, wait, what the hell's going on? And that's when we find out for sure that Rock and Andrea are both robots as well.
Yeah, after he shoots Brown, Rook comes in his weird Easter dress and smashes Kirk against the wall.
Such a bad dress too.
It's a weird. It's so puffy, and maybe they wanted him to look really strong, upper body strength, but it looks like he's wearing inflatable padding.
Like it looked like they just took pillows and shoved them in his clothes.
Yeah, it really just looks like he's stuffed with padding.
It is. It's bad. It's really. And I agree. I think it is to make him look, like Thor, that triangle.
Right. Yeah.
But no, it failed. It failed hard.
Yeah, and they did try to make him look like an angular robotic, with the makeup. He's got like kind of straight lines on his face, and they made an attempt to make, and it, it is.
It's a 1960s attempt, so they are limited in what they could have done, and for the time, I'm sure it was pretty solid, but. Based off of just because, with nowadays, we're so used to so much better. Even in padding for costume to make the person look stronger, it looks so much better nowadays.
Yeah,
we're unfortunately just spoiled by better technology. Out 50, 60 years later.
Jesus.
Yeah, almost 60 years later.
Gonna be 60 years in a couple.
Yeah. God, Star Trek's old. I love it, but it's always that reminder. Anyways, but yeah, no. So yeah, they shoot Brown. They have their little back and forth about, oh no, this is what an android is. See, robots, and it was just a weird. It was a weird scene because Kirk's definitely figured out what's happening, and trying to get away.
Yeah.
And he's no longer comfortable pretending. The way, because he made it clear, right? Okay, fine, I'll put it up with it because you're not letting me go because you need to show me this. And then at the end of it, instead of keeping his mouth shut and saying no, I'm fully on your side. Yeah, 100%. You're doing a thing. It's cool. So he could get out. Kirk's just like, no, man, I'm reporting you.
Runs for the door.
That was dumb. That was really dumb.
That was a moment where he could have chilled out for a moment and figured out what was going on, but. They were probably going to end up imprisoning him anyway. That's kind of part of what Corby's plan is here. Mm-hmm. Corby does think it would be a good idea. Well, his long-term plan might be to replace everyone with robots. Although we get to see a pretty fun effect, I think, of how androids are made, and they're not really made. We don't really know if Andrea and Brown were human at one point, although Christine did know a version of Brown. And we don't know a lot about the crash that led Corby to be here, but he's got this table, which I guess Rook has showed him how to use, where you lay down a human and also a green sponge that kind of looks like a human that they've got in stock. And it spins around really fast, and the green sponge becomes an exact copy of whoever's in there, which this time it's Kirk.
Well, not an exact copy, because remember, Kirk was able to influence it to be able to have a keyword that's like, clearly not what Kirk thinks. Basically being a racist towards Spock.
What we were talking about in the very beginning, yes.
Yeah, so there is some influence that the soon-to-be cloned can exert over what your clone will look like and sound like.
So if you're ever going to get your mind copied into a robot that someone's going to use to impersonate you, think really mean, potentially racist thoughts about your closest allies. And
especially when it doesn't actually impact you being able to be determined to be not really you.
Yeah, and Spock is not the one who ends up figuring out what's going on, but he does get yelled at and called a half-breed by fake Kirk. So yeah, we've got another fake Kirk episode. He sends Kirk back to the Enterprise and almost gets away with it. Really? I mean, maybe let's say Spock would have eventually figured it out, but it really all comes to just this was never going to work in the first place. It's one of those kind of sad stories. You start feeling bad for, even though they've killed a bunch of people, it's like they don't know what they're doing, kind of like the crew of the fake Voyager, and they're all just slowly losing what makes them human. They're slowly realizing that they're not, and that it's not working.
That honestly, makes a lot of the episode a lot less awful in some ways. Because when Buddy falls off, I forget his name. When Red Shirt falls down,
Buddy's fine. Gray hair, red shirt.
Yep. When Buddy falls into the pit, only Kirk and Christine give a shit.
And that's why, at first it's so weird, and then we kind of get it.
Yeah.
There's complicated things happening here that I really like.
And I do appreciate that was done the way it was, because otherwise it just makes everyone on the planet look like they're assholes.
Yeah, right, exactly. Because it's weird. It's so weird how Kirk's like, I think a guy just died, and Brown's like, yeah, he's dead. Let's get out of here. And that's everyone's attitude.
Your guy's dead. Who cares? Stop mourning. Why are you being babies? Yeah, no, it was weird. It was very weird. And every time someone died, because I think there was another one later.
Well, they killed the guy at the entrance.
Yeah, so that was the same thing again. He's dead. Who cares?
Exactly. Yep.
And it makes him come off very psychopathic until you find out that they're just not programmed.
Yeah, and they're just not working correctly, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love how everything plays out.
Yeah, no, it is better than I remember it. I have seen the episode. I do remember the episode. It was better than I was remembering it. And I didn't know what episode it was based off the title or description until that girl's outfit, the crisscross walker thing, shows up.
Fucking weird crisscross unitard overalls with buttons in the back.
Yeah,
she was definitely freezing.
Oh, it
must have been. She was God.
And it's funny, I ran across a meme recently where they're like, bring back the early TNG costume designers, and they were specifically showing off
Yar with no pants on?
No, the two that came up with was Riker dressed up to talk to the Prime Minister chick of the matriarchal planet.
Angel One.
Thank you. And the episode, it was specifically the police guys, but the episode where Stay Off the Grass.
Oh boy, yeah, those guys.
But those costumes where it's how slutty can you make the guys look?
Yep.
And bring back those costume designers.
Those people weren't. Those people on that planet were wearing nothing. This is a good one. These overalls This is sexy overalls. It's crazy. Who would ever decide to design sexy overalls?
How is that an effective outfit to wear when you're dealing with science? You're gonna get hurt. Like
You're gonna get burns and things.
You know what it is? She has no sleeves because, frankly, she's not going to do science. She's fine. It's the boys who do science.
As we've learned from the last couple. No.
Yeah. Yeah, but no, better episode than I was expecting. Definitely a lot of fun, silly, and a very surprisingly sad ending.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I like you end up liking the character of Ruck, who in the beginning of the episode is just killing anyone that comes by. I guess the story is that Ruck was an ancient android left behind. We find out more about him when Kirk talks to him, but he would have found Brown and maybe Andrea and Corby and resurrected them as androids. And he actually has lost some of his memories, but he does have access to them. If he thinks hard about them enough, it seems like he can find them. Because when he talks to Kirk, he starts talking about how the old ones created him and other androids. There may be some other places on the planet, but as far as here with the bottomless pit, it's just Ruck. And he talks about how the makers began to distrust their creations and turn them off one by one. So the remaining androids had to destroy their makers. And Kirk is like, well, Corby programmed you. That seems like a mean thing to do. You should probably destroy him. And he's like, well, I'm programmed not to destroy Kirby. And Kirk is able to basically say, like, well, didn't the makers program you not to throw them in a bottomless pit? And he's like, yes! Survival is preferable to programming or something like that. And we're like, yeah, he's gonna go fuck those guys up. But then Corby walks in and fucking vaporizes him. Meanwhile, I think off screen, Andrea is vaporizing fake Kirk. They're just proving that as far as androids are concerned, they're not, at least these ones aren't working. Rook seems like he was fine, but now he's vaporized. And very shortly after that, Kirby bumps his hand on the door, and his skin comes off, and we see that he's also full of circuits. So, yeah, we get the story about how he also has been transferred into a robot body, and yeah.
But at least Christine got some closure now.
Right when Kirk vaporizes Corby and Andrea right in front of her.
Like, she now finds out that Corby, the man she loved, died.
Is in fact dead. Yeah, yeah.
Like, it's a sad, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's a sad ending. And no way am I trying to pretend it's not. But silver lining, she's got that closure now. She's not stressing about this. And that's a good thing. As bad as the results are, it is still a good thing that she is able to have that, freedom to start actually mourning instead of sitting in that weird limbo.
Yeah. Yeah, and she gets to continue on with the Enterprise and be the nurse. I wonder how this story figures, if at all, into Strange New Worlds.
I don't know.
This is probably after Strange New Worlds. Oh boy, I wonder if that chapel is going to end up meeting a young Corby. Ooh.
Let's find out when Strange New Worlds' star dates are.
It's before this. Because it's the Enterprise.
This is the Enterprise.
Right, so Strange New Worlds is the Enterprise before this point. It's the same shit before Kirk gets it. In fact, there was
span is 2259 to 2266 for years. And I don't know when this episode takes place specifically yet.
Is that's the start? Those are the start dates for TOS?
That's the time span in years, like real years, for Strange New Worlds.
Okay.
That's the real timeline,
Yep. I did, speaking of Strange New Worlds, there is a character on that Enterprise named Sam Kirk.
Oh.
And this is definitely the first time in TOS that we get Sam Kirk mentioned when they're testing the copy of Kirk when they're testing his memory. Corby says, "Tell me about Sam," and fake Kirk says a little bit about his brother Sam and how Kirk is the only James is the only one that calls him Sam. So yeah, a little taste of that ends up in Strange New Worlds.
So Strange New Worlds has apparently got 2259, 2266 is the timeline, like the span.
Yep.
2266 is when this occurs. So this is shortly after.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. And is that 2 seasons of Strange New Worlds, or is that like where they think the series is going?
I think it's going to be where they think the series is going.
Okay.
At a quick glance, the star dates are close in a couple of episodes. Okay, so as a person who's not yet watched the show, this is important to bear in mind. But
yeah, don't spoil anything for yourself, and don't, if this is...
Yeah, no, apparently the majority of the episodes are taking place, it looks like, 1700 to, say, 2400.
Okay.
Of what's been released so far. But Stardate 3177 is coming up on their list on episode 4 was of season 1 was after, like, Stardate was after the Stardate for this episode.
Interesting.
Children of the Comet, which is season 1 episode 2, also has a Stardate after the Stardate from What Our Little Girls Made Of. We've also got the Stardate afterwards in season 2. I think I saw one. I now can't find it, so no, maybe not in season 2. So season 1 has 2 episodes, and has season 3 actually started airing yet for Strange New World?
No, okay. But I'm definitely going to be keeping my eyes open for a Roger Corby. Although Chapel may have left the ship in the end of season 2.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, maybe I shouldn't. Yeah, let's not. Yeah, but what's going on with Chapel is obviously a big part, because she's a main character for those 2 seasons, and I'm not sure exactly.
I'm trying to remember. Was Chapel the one in the white?
Yeah, she wears basically completely white uniform. Yeah. But
yeah, no. So apparently it does touch on it at some point, maybe not specifically like a story, but like touches on the year, and it looks like a couple of episodes do take place after this occurred, which is weird, and I've seen these episodes and I don't remember them, so I don't know how that works.
Well, it's weird because I wonder if it's just something that, the continuity doesn't quite work, because Strange New Worlds is like, the whole premise is that this is pre-Kirk Enterprise. I mean, it's the whole thing. I mean, Kirk is a character that we see from time to time because of Sam, and like, I think a future Kirk shows up, I almost feel like Kirk might even, like, James Kirk is like around sometimes, not just Sam, and like, but I mean, so the timeline is a little confused also, I guess I could add, because there's the whole, Pike knows he's going to eventually go to Talos, and like, I think him knowing some stuff about his future has messed up the timeline. And Kirk, there's even an episode where like there's a version of Pike handling a certain situation, and Kirk, and then like there's not a mirror universe, but they're seeing another sequence of events where Kirk had to handle the situation differently. I think there's something like that happens. So there's definitely some timeline crossing going on with Strange New Worlds specifically. Okay. And
I know that like when they did the remake movies that came out, the reimagining movies they did a few years ago too, that a bunch of stuff has gotten kind of thrown out the window.
Yeah, I mean, that's considered a whole alternate universe.
Yeah, and I don't know much about that aspect as well. Like that's just not something I really. I don't know how it's necessarily impacting the content that is currently being viewed, both by us and by like the modern Star Trek. So like you're talking about pre-Kirk Pike, but is this pre-Kirk Pike in the old timeline, or is this pre-Kirk Pike in the new timeline, right? And same with Discovery. Like, which of these timelines? And from what I understand, Discovery also fucks with the timeline too.
Yeah, I mean, Discovery, the whole Pike thing in the current era comes from season 2 of Discovery. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of stuff for me at least that I'm just like, I don't know how any of this is impacting everything else that I've been watching, you know?
Yeah, it's definitely, and this is also this is the point where it's worth mentioning, well, it's a TV show and kind of who cares? And it's been being written for 60 years and different people have written 1,000 different episodes and they're not all going to agree, but there is canonically, at this point now, some timeline fuckery has occurred, which is a good excuse to just, let the episodes happen as they do.
Yeah, and as much as like, I fully am aware that this is us just taking something simple and
making it more complicated by looking too hard. Yeah,
exactly.
People love to do that. Yeah, my favorite thing to do.
We're making a podcast. We have to do that.
That's the whole point. Yeah. Let's take something that someone wanted people to watch on television one week and then, probably never see again. Yeah. Boy, it was,
Yeah, 1 week, 60 years ago, and now we're just poking holes in their plot holes that they didn't know were plot holes.
Yeah, I mean, God, man. Imagine making something and not, knowing that people were going to watch it over and over again forever, looking at every mistake you made. You could in the 60s, you could put something on TV and people would watch it and then no one would ever see it again.
That's something I've been thinking about with, specifically Shatner. I'm gonna him and, George Takei. We're talking people who are in, episode 1 who are still alive now.
Amazing.
So, can you imagine being someone who's born in, the 40s, and this is one of your first acting gigs, and you're still alive 60 years later, watching this thing be, the monster that it is? Because, Star Trek is a monster nowadays, it's got so much content. It's going in so many directions. We have 4 shows on TV right now, one of which just finished. We've got at least one TV show that is, reviewing episodes after they've come out with the Ready Room starring Will Wheaton. You've got, 13 or 14 movies today? No, more than that. I think it's 13.
Will Wheaton.
Yeah, he's the host for the Ready Room.
Yeah.
Which I don't watch. I have no access to it. I just happened to know about it when we were looking for a name for the show that we're doing, right? But yeah, it's all there's so much out there, and there's so many people who they have taken this on. There's a scouter who dresses up as a Klingon in Star Trek clothing because he's decided that Kronos saw Earth doing scouts, and they clearly created their own scout troop.
Of course. Yeah.
This is the level that this thing has become. You know what I mean? I love it. It's fantastic. I love it so much.
I like that. So yeah, what little girls are made of.
Overall, what's your rating, do you think?
Man, have I given something a 9?
Yes.
All right. Well, I would like to give this one a 9 also. I think this is really good. I really like how it turned out. I really like the second half. I really like all the existential, oh no, we're all robots, we copied our minds thing, and yeah.
You think this is on par with The Enemy Within?
Yes. I will take a pink styrofoam barnacle dildo in just as not the same value of a little dog, but almost as entertaining to me. I'll take the dildo at the same value of the little dog for the purpose of me watching them in the 60s.
That is valid. I will give it an 8. I think it's a pretty solid show. It's up there with The Man Trap. It's a decent story. It's got some weird things, but like they all make sense within the context of a single episode, as long as you're not poking too many holes at it.
Sure.
It was a well written one-off show, you know?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a really interesting one.
Awesome. Did you have anything else you wanted to add?
Sexy overalls.
They're so And you know what? The worst part is, I think with a nice top, that would actually look quite nice. Like, be a comfortable, nice outfit. If I had, like, a long shirt that went, like, past my hips underneath it, 100%,
yeah.
I'd wear those. But I'd need to have something under. I would never wear something that's got that much skin showing. Holy crap. But, like, it could be quite comfortable. It looks like it could be a comfortable outfit, you know?
Yeah, it could be fun.
Awesome. All right, well, thank you again for watching it with me.
Thanks for talking about it. Thanks for being here. Thanks for,
Yeah.
Great.
Cheers.
Yeah, we'll see about watching Miri on Friday with Saint.
Yeah, please let me know what he has to say about it.
Sure.
If Friday doesn't work, I don't think we've got anything planned on Saturday.
Okay, let's wrap it up by reading the answers to last week's question of the week. The question of the week was, who is your favorite android, or what is your favorite android/AI/artificial human-based story? The answer doesn't need to be from Trek, and please elaborate as much as you like. The first answer came from A Foolish Princess, who mentions a webcomic called Freefall, for the reason because it's been Monday, Wednesday, Friday for decades, and that's a good reason to like a comic. And the individual comic that they linked, it might have just been the comic of the day when I looked at the website, but it was funny. Surreptitious Music says, certainly it's the I banged Data and realized I'm pathetic episode of TNG. We'll revisit that one. I'm not sure if I remember her feeling pathetic. I'm not sure exactly what she does. We've already talked about the fact that I haven't really seen that one. Locke had a long answer this week, which I applaud. He says, this is a really tough choice. I'm really fond of Bishop from Aliens for his character and the way Henriksen played him as a sort of ostracized child who knew he'd outlive everyone around him. I think questions about the actual nature of Skynet/Terminator AIs are far more interesting than are usually explored. Both Blade Runner movies are phenomenal. He's got phenomenal in italics, and he's correct. I like a lot of what Neil Asher has done with AIs in his polity novels. Gibson's Neuromancer has AIs that really feel properly artificial and manipulative in a very practical way. There's a warm place in my heart for Johnny 5 from Short Circuit. I find Sid 6.7 highly entertaining, and he's got a great name. Yeah. GLaDOS is such a charmer. I love the ancient stories of Gollum. If we open it up to robots, Transformers makes this an impossible question. Though off the cuff there, I'd pick Rodimus Prime, who, unlike Optimus, never really found the mantle of leadership a natural fit. Was always full of self-doubt and concern for choosing well, but in the end, aware that even when there are no perfect choices, a decision does still need to be made, and made with intention, good humor, and discipline of follow-through. Honorable mention to Cyclonus, who was on a side, but would choose to behave honorably even when it conflicted with his faction's overall goals. God, Transformers is the best thing. I like Transformers too, but I think Paramount has an always-on Transformers channel that I watch from time to time. I caught the first, I think it's a 5-episode arc right after the Transformers movie, I'm talking about the original cartoon show. I think it was called The 5 Faces of Evil, maybe, or something like that. It might have been 5 Faces of... Probably wasn't 5 Faces of Death. But I watched 4 of them. I watched the 4 episodes out of 5, and then, like, it turned midnight or something, and it switched to, like, Transformers Ever Spark from, like, 2012 or whatever. But anyway, Weebs says... Transformers is cool. I even like, and I mean, if you've been listening to this podcast or anything, you've heard me say that I have a fascination with Michael Bay. So I've definitely seen all of those, the live action recent ones, and Transformers does rule. Weeb says, not a favorite per se, but a not in one's right mind mention. And he has posted a clip from the early 80s sitcom Small Wonder, which a man invents a little girl robot in the garage. I think he has her doing the housekeeping in a little maid's uniform with a bow in her hair. She's a little bit like Roll from Mega Man. I recall seeing this TV show, and it was fucking weird. She kind of looks like she's played by a human actress. She's got arms and a head and stuff, but like when he opens up the back of the dress, she's like a Teddy Ruxpin. I don't know if she used cassettes or whatever. There's a little bit of a conversation here about, whether or not Star Trek protocol droids count, which is really, there's a lot of, not Star Trek, Star Wars. In Star Wars, there's a lot of questions about whether certain droids are even sentient or not, which I don't know whether or not that gets put to bed when Lando goes to bed with his spaceship, but anyway, we'll get back to, I don't know if I even mentioned that was Alex's question, but first, Saint mentions Bending Rodriguez. I did not know that was his name, or that his middle name was Bending. Saint says, despite his crude exterior, Bender is a sophisticated eye with a full range of human behaviors and probably consciousness. And he's definitely built in the likeness of man. I had mentioned the Butlerians, and, thou shalt not create a machine in likeness of a human mind. Sex and mind-altering substances are extremely important. A favorite quote of old Bending Rodriguez. Saint says his existence is both poignant and hilarious. Chris cleared up that he is in fact, because I asked if that was his full name. Chris says he's Mexican, made in Mexican mom's friendly robots factory. Pete casts his vote for Hedonism Bot, and I guess I need to watch more Futurama, because I have to see this grape-chugging Dionysian Hedonism Bot in action. Atheist Man, after we said, Star Trek droids are a go, he says HK-47 is pretty high up there for me. That's from Knights of the Old Republic. Me and Alex I watched him play a lot of this game. I don't know if I recall HK-47. Maybe I do. I recall a little mean droid. Actually, I think I do recall HK-47. He's pretty funny. He tells jokes about killing people. And calls people meatbag. So our last sort of response is Surreptitious Music weighs in after all of that, and he says, fun fact, I recently learned that I'm descended from a guy who was chief rabbi of Prague in 1630, and therefore caretaker of the golem. So, yes, that was The Least Ready Room. We were talking about androids and what little girls are made of from the original series, maybe episode 7 or so of the broadcast order. And I try to do this every week, me and Chris and Saint and Weebs usually, and some other people, and whoever wants to answer the questions on Discord. And thank you to all those people I just mentioned, as well as Pete and Josh, who make music for this podcast and all my stuff. You can find all my stuff, my other social media stuff, and a link to that Discord EasyTown on koyadk.tv. And we'll be back here next week with Miri, which I think is just me, Toronto, and Saint. One shot, doing the full plot breakdown of the episode. And thanks for being here. Thanks for tuning in next week in advance. That's a premature. That's a prophylactic. No, that's a I don't know. I feel like there's some P word I'm looking for. I'll remember it in the middle of the night. I'll shoot upright in bed and say preliminary. I don't fucking know. Thank you in advance for watching this week and or tomorrow, next week. You know what? Goodbye. Good night. Thank you. The question of the week this week is going to be something about living forever. and if you would make some type of sacrifice, like keeping the mind of a 7-year-old child that probably is going to degrade, something like that. I'll type it out. It'll be typed out when it's in Discord, because that's the type of communication we do over there. And that's where it'll be something like that. You'll probably have read it before you have listened to this. So yeah, thanks for participating in this and being here and listening to this. I'm gonna, I don't know what I'm gonna do next. I've had dinner already. It's Sunday evening. I don't really have to. I got a few things I think there's a few more things. Actually, there's at least one more task I gotta do to prepare for this week. But yeah, I should be on schedule this week, doing the things I'm supposed to do, and being around, and yeah, come hang out, buy some soap, whatever, blah blah blah, internet, podcasts, garbage, raccoons, pasta sauce, tomatoes, giraffes, elephants, hopes, and dreams.